Bowser, he's a bit of a conundrum when it comes to characters. Seemingly having different portrayals in every game, and sure, they've gotten a bit more consistent over time, but when I was growing up, it's like Aunt Viv, Vivian Banks. What episode is this, actress? Okay, that's good and wait. Ironically, I had this idea in my head for a while, but this fool made his own video talking about a similar topic, except his more focuses on Bowser in Smash Bros. And how... But I want to take a broader look at this broad-thighed, hot and cold Big Papa. I was stewing over this since my villains video, but pause! I've been thinking about this my whole life. I played Super Mario World as my first Mario platform, and got to the end of the game and saw this turd of a Dill. The Valley of Bowser was creepy. It set up the tone for the boss fight to come. It had lightning. It insinuated that Bowser likes going through the back door. But he was just creepy and reptilian. Even this unsettling clown copter fit. Now that was my first Mario platformer. I played that shit on my Game Boy Advance in the backseat of the car at night, calculating my movement so I could see the screen when we passed street lamps. Why do we call them street lamps? It's like calling these movie webcams. Anyways, there was also... He's an atrocity to play, and he's even worse to look at. But it still didn't delineate from the Bowser I knew, this
hideous, ugly beast.
It's only when I played Luigi's House, a game that released the same year as Melee, that I was confused.
Mario?
Madame Clairvoyant makes the shocking revelation that hidden in the mansion is Bowser. He's hiding in this mansion? Where? Is he hiding in like a small room? In this box? In the potted plant? But lo and behold, we get to the end of the game, King Boo's in a Bowser with a screw-on head, and besides that being weird, this is not the same as that. What gives? Over the years, I've decided that there are two Bowsers. The Beast Bowser and the Bully Bowser. Each are similar on the surface, but when you break it down, they're sort of like two different characters at the core. Sometimes they're mixed together in different proportions. It's like full beast, half bully, decaf bully, double, it's always something. So what's a Beast Bowser example? Well, some of the first incarnations only depicted him as a semi-intelligible reptilian monster. Sometimes he was even bald. But these Bowsers were just beasts. They felt like a monster, but only something to take down. Going back to the villain's video, they were basic narrative constructs to help move the story forward. It doesn't matter why he got to the point he was, he's just there to serve a purpose. Naturally, he looked a bit less intelligible since it's easier to make something evil if it's dehumanized. And you can't smell evil without an organ.
Your fate is sealed.
1980s and 1990s, there were very little variations on Bowser in this way. It's just that, like, drawings of him and how he was depicted changed, but it was like the same character. He was going through a lot of identity crises, okay? Until we mosey our way over to the 2000s.
Go on.
So, just sit back and relax, my lord, because it's time for you to meet today's eligible battle stats. And here they are. Battle set number 1.
It's Melee Bowser! Gross! Though he is a playable infected toe, he does reflect the beastly Bowser from his debut. He makes weird noises, has a darker, unflattering palate, and is hunched over like a beast. He just reminds me of this kid in grade 2 that acted like a T-Rex on the playground.
My thing's sound effects. Here's a T-Rex.
But, what if I'm not into BDSM? This is where it gets weird, because we enter the GameCube era. This is where Bowser's character started to settle and get way too comfortable with itself. The start of Bowser actually being portrayed as a character started in stuff like Mario 64 with the dialogue at the start of each boss fight. Then there were the Mario RPG games where, shocker, they characterized him. And I'd argue these games shaped how Bowser appears today, where he does have serious goals, but he's also kind of a lummox. Often he's depicted as a short-sighted, short-tempered, short-armed knucklehead. Gone are the days of him being menacing, and in come the days of him being
Mario! How dare you disturb my family vacation?
Super Mario Sunshine! Woohoo! That was pretty close, actually. Now this game makes me wet. And not ankle socks slipping off your feet in the middle of winter on the playground wet. More like, oh, I love the beach, but the salt water is getting in my eyes sort of wet. It's good. Most of the time. Oh my god, this Scooby-Doo villain voice. The weird CG. on the mouth movement. Oh. And now that I'm looking at this, I think I figured it out. The core of the problem, the core of this inconsistency, is Bowser's ever-changing voice.
Well put, son. The Royal Koopa line is as strong as ever.
Honestly, when you put it together, it's mostly the voice. First, there was Mario 64's ominous voice. This sort of played him into being a beastly monster without being too evil. This followed through with Mario Kart, the Mario Sports titles, and Mario Party. But then this all got rocky during the GameCube era where they started having Bowser talk. It was this weird iteration of talking Uncle Hank Bowser. This was in a lot of those Camelot Mario games at the time, and Mario Party, and Mario DDR, and oh, don't burn your tongue, it's new soup! It returned Mario to the platform he was known for. Jumping, hitting Goombas, hitting those question blocks, all in only 2 dimensions. The Bowser here is mixed with Beastly Bowser and the Bully Bowser, and this is where it's history. Galaxy 1, 2, 3D World, Odyssey, they settled on this mix of the goofy RPG Bowser and the beastly, menacing Bowser. It only took a decade, but the big guy finally came out of his shell.
And man, it's finally nice to have a Bowser that's accurate in all the games he's portrayed in, but I'm actually kind of building up an appetite from all that Bowser talk, so I could eat like a beast right now.
Let's see, I can make an egg omelet, I could just eat an apple to hold me over, a chicken sandwich, we have leftovers from last night, Bowser's portrayal in the Smash games, and...
Bowser's portrayal in the Smash game!
Okay, so Joe's video is far more comprehensive on the topic of Bowser and Smash Bros, and I don't want to steal his thunder, entering the back door. But a key point he brought up was Sakurai's visualization of Bowser as a child. Playing Super Mario Bros., Sakurai saw Bowser as this beastly monster, something more terrifying than what was available in 8 bits. This is where Giga Bowser stemmed from. A more horrific, chaotic Bowser. And I don't think it's too big of a leap to say that maybe he holds Bowser to the same standard, and continues to do so. Over and over again. It's why he keeps giving him this... He's a fucking creep! Scaly skin, and now a straightened back! Brawl Bowser to this day looks cute and ugly at the same time. How do you achieve this? Sakurai has tried to include traits that make Bowser more akin to his definitive form that we see in many of the Mario platformers, but it's still a Bowser that heavily resembles the old form of Bowser, the Beast Bowser. Just give him a dance. Yeah, but you know, potato, at least I'm not up in the middle of the night anymore thinking about that Bowser from Mario Sunshine. Now, a logical person would conclude that Bowser had these problems because Mario and the whole series had these problems. They were making the transition from 2D to 3D, they didn't know how to depict the characters in the game world, and they didn't even know how to structure the gameplay, and often Nintendo bases their games on the gameplay over the story, and Bowser is just used as the be-all, end-all, the goal for most of the games, and they don't really care how he's depicted, and that could be why he's had a shaky sort of representation until today, where he's finally represented correctly. What if I told you the real Bowser was killed? That's right, me! I'm the internet smart guy! I make the theories! There was this beastly Bowser in 2D Marios, but those were actually the same Bowser as Mario 64 Bowser. And then he started to become less evil and part of the Mario world. After so many losses, he finally realized that, maybe it's good to finally settle down, have a child. But New Super Mario Bros. Has Mario, this disgusting, reprehensible man, kill Bowser in front of his own son. And it's not just like he cuts the axe, he burns to death. Mario watches intently as his skin peels off and disintegrates into the lava. Crushed, Bowser Jr. has to do anything to get his father back. Using black magic, he resurrects his father using his bones and rebirths a new Bowser. He no longer represents the old Bowser. He no longer has the soul or brain of the old Bowser. He's just an instinctual husk.
Go to hell before you die. Go to hell before you die. You go to hell before you die.